Hello guys, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. So in this video we are going to be using Flutter to build a cryptocurrency application using an API from coinpaprica. So this is the application. So if we click on this Bitcoin, it should show us the Bitcoin details, including like the information about Bitcoin, is it active, the tags, and then the team members, right? So that's what we are going to be doing. We are going to be using Flutter Riverpod, and we are also going to be using the mvvm architecture. So to start creating our project, so I'm just going to go into my folder where I create my my projects. I'm just going to create a new folder, and then I'm just going to call it Flutter Crypto App. Okay, so what I'm just going to do is I'm just going to open the command prompt inside this. I'm just going to open the command prompt inside this folder. And then I'm just going to create a new app. Flutter create crypto app. Okay, so let's just wait a couple of minutes, a minute or two for Flutter to finish building our project. Okay, so now let's just move into our let's just change our directory into our crypto app. Okay, so let's just open VS Code. You can use any editor of your choice, but I'm just going to use VS Code. Okay, there we go, guys. We have our crypto app. Let's just see. Okay, so we have our crypto app. So now what we are going to just do is let's just move into our lib folder, and then let's open the main.dat file. Okay, so this is the main entry point for our application. Let's just wait a minute or two for VS Code to finish loading. Okay, now we are good to go. So the first thing that I'm just going to do is I'm just going to work on our folder structure. So we need a components folder. We also need services folder. And then we also need a controllers folder. We also need a models folder. And then I also need a constants folder. We also need a constants folder. Okay, and I also need the views folder. So now we need to create the homepage .dat file. Okay, so let's just supposed to be a stateless widget. Let's just give it a home page. Let's just name it home page. Okay, must import the material dot that dependency. Okay, let's import it. Okay, now let's return a scaffold widget. Scaffold. Right, so let's go into our main.dat file. Let's just get rid of this let's just get rid of this boilerplate code down here. Okay, and then let's just remove this my home page, and then let's replace it with the home page that we created in the views folder. Okay, another thing is let's also just get rid of these comments, and let's get rid of this title. Okay, so now what's the next thing? The next thing that we are going to do is let's go into, if you go into my GitHub repository, I'll put the link in the description below. Let's go into the papsec.yaml file. So inside the papsec.yaml file, what we just need to do is we just need to copy these dependencies. We are going to be using these dependencies. Okay, we are going to be using HTTP, JSON annotation, and then first annotation. You will see how I'm going to use these dependencies, right? So let's go into our papsec.yaml file. Below the Cupertino icons, let's just paste these dependencies. Let's make sure this is in order. Okay, and then let's go back again into our GitHub repository. We need also the build runner and then also the first dependencies. Okay, let's copy it, and then if you go under the dev dependencies, we need to paste it under dev dependencies. Under the Flutter link, just paste it there. Okay. Okay, so let's just wait for Flutter to finish, Flutter build to finish running. So in the meantime, what we are going to do is we are just going to check at the coin.paprica API, right? So the coin.paprica API. So this is like the link for the coin.paprica.com. So if you go to their website here, you can see that this is the free version that we are going to be using. This one, this is the free version that we are going to be using. So what we are going to be doing is if we use https coinpaprica.coins.bitcoin, this is going to give us all the details about Bitcoin, right? And then if we use like we are going to use this one, API coinpaprica.com/v1/coins. This is going to give us all the coins in our in the API, right? So if you copy this JSON for Bitcoin, if you copy this JSON for Bitcoin, if you copy it, let's go into there's a website called JSON to dat. Okay, if you go into JSON to dat, if you paste it inside this, and then if you come here and then you type in coin, since this is we want this to be the model for the coin, you can see that it's going to give us a Flutter class that's going to display an ID, name, symbol, rank, is new, is active, and then the type of coin, right? So before we move any further, I want to talk about the architecture of our application. So in this architecture, what we are going to be using, we are going to be using what we call the mvvm, or the view mvvm, if you have heard about it. So what's going on is we have our views, or the view is going to be the user interface, right? And then we have the view model. So the view model is the one that's going to implement like the business logic, right? And then we have the service. So the service is responsible for making API calls to our coinpaprica, right? So what's going to happen is that in the view we have events that are going to be triggered either by the user, or if there are any change according to the device. These events are going to be listened to by the view model, which is going to request an update from the services folder or from our API. And then this service folder, once the view model requests for an update, it publishes an update to the view model. And then when the view model sees any update, it's going to update the UI state. And then the UI state is going to change the user interface of our views, right? So that's how we are going to be using this mvvm, or model view model architecture, right? So now the thing that we need to do is we need to go into our models folder, and then we need to create a file called coin.dat. So what we are going to be doing is we are going to be using what we call freezed. So freezed is used for creating JSON immutable classes, right? Why are we using immutable classes? As I've talked about this model view architecture, we want the state only to be manipulated by the view model. We don't want the state to be manipulated by the views, right? So to do so, we must make sure that our models are immutable, so that they can only be mutated by the view model, right? So what we are going to do is we are going to create, say, part coin.freezed. So that's the package that we are going to use, .dat, right? And then we are going to create an annotation at freezed. Okay, so we should import this freezed. Let me see, is it? I think we haven't. I think what we must do is let's go into the terminal, because I'm seeing like it's not updating. I'm sure the package is not yet updated. Okay. Okay. So we'll solve it later. Let's just create an abstract class coin with $sign coin, and then factory coin. And then as you can see from our we have the ID name symbol, rank is new, is active. So let's go into, we have a string which is a type nullable, which is ID. We have another string which can be now, which is the name. We have an integer for the ranking, which can be nullable also. And then we have a string which can be nullable for the symbol. And then we have the boolean, which is new. Then we also have the boolean, which is also can be nullable, is active. And then we have a string for the type. Okay, so here we are just going to be, we make it is equal to, and then coin, and let's put a semicolon. Then let's make sure that we import the freezed package. Okay, yes, we have, let's import the freezed package. I think we are good to go. So what we need to do is we'll use the Flutter pub run build runner delete conflicts. I'll put it in the description below to generate a freezed file. So let's just wait for it to okay. So we are not in our root folder, so let's just change directory into crypto app. Okay, let's build it. Let's use the Flutter build runner. Okay, as you can see now, we have generated this coin.freezed file, right? So we need to do also one more thing. We need to generate one more. So what we need to do is let's go here. Let's also say part coin dot g dot dot dat. Okay, and then let's go below our, we're just going to say factory coin dot from JSON. So this is going to convert a coin from JSON into map string, and then another type of dynamic, and then JSON, into coin from JSON, and then we are just going to pass in JSON. Okay, so okay, that's it. So let's, okay, I think okay, let's run Flutter build run again. Okay, seems like I forgot to put a semicolon here. Okay, okay, so let me just terminate it and then run it again. Okay, as you can see, we have also generated this coin.g.dat file. Okay, so now if we go back to our coin paprika, as you can see, this is active. This is like for the coin detail, right? This is for the coin detail. As you can see, this is like coin detail for Bitcoin. This is like for Bitcoin. If you copy this, it's going to show us the detail for Bitcoin. Let's copy that. Then let's come inside our, let's paste it and let's just coin detail. Okay, let's generate that. As you can see, these are the details for Bitcoin. But what we are going to know, we're going to need the ID, the name, symbol, rank is new, is active, tags, and team description. Some of these things we don't need them. Okay, so let's just, like what we did, let's just create another file. Let's call it coin detail.dat. Okay, so go and say part coin detail dot freezed dot dat. Okay, and then let's wrap it with an annotation at freezed. Okay, and then let's create an abstract class coin detail with coin detail. Okay, let's create the constructor factory coin detail. Okay, I made a mistake. This must be factory coin detail. Let's import the freezed package. Okay, we're going to need the string. We're going to need the ID, which is of type nullable. We're also going to need a string type symbol. We also need the name. Also need a description. We also need the boolean to show if it's active or not. Active. We also need the rank. So we need a string for the type. We also need list for the tags. Okay. And we also need a list for the team member. Let's just call it team. Yeah, that's it for now. And then let's go to coin detail. Okay, so now we need to create also these two classes, the tags and the team member. So let's go in here, let's create tag dot dat part tags dot freezed .dat. So for this class, for the text class, if we go into our, we need the ID name. We only need the ID and the name. Okay. So I'm showing abstract class text with underscore $ text. We need a constructor, factory text. We need a string type null label, which is ID. We also need a string which is of type null label, which is a name. Yeah, that's it, which is equal to underscore text. Okay, the other thing is I forgot this annotation, this first annotation. Okay, and then let's import the first library. Okay, that's it for the text. Now we need the team member. We need a team member also, right? So let's just say team member .dat. It's going to be part team member dot first .dat. Let's repeat with the first annotation. Okay, I made a mistake here. It's supposed to be first. Okay, let's just get rid of this import statement here at the top. Okay, let's import the first package. Okay, let's just go inside here. Let's just copy this. Copy, let's paste it inside this. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to say, and I'm going to create an abstract class team member with underscore $ team member. We need a constructor, factory team member. Okay, what do we need for the team member? So for the team member, we need the ID, which is of type now ID. We also need the name, which is of type null label name, and we also need the position. Which is equal to underscore team member. Okay, that's it. Let's run the Flutter pub build run. So we have a problem with the coin detail. I don't know what's going on. Okay, we need to import this team member list. Okay, I think we need to. I see why. Takes. Let's import these classes. Let's also import this one. Okay, let's run Flutter build run again. Let's see. Okay, seems like everything is okay, but we need a few things here. We need a few things. Inside the yeah, everything is okay, but what we need to do is inside our coin detail we left, we need to convert from JSON file that we need to create. So I'm just going to say factory coin detail dot from JSON. So it's just going to take a map string dynamic JSON, then we'll just convert it into $coin detail from JSON, and then what we're going to do is we're just going to post in the JSON file, and then let's go in on top below the, then we're just going to say part coin detail dot g dot dat. Okay, so let's generate it. Okay, so we left the semicolon again, so let's just terminate it. And let's run it. Okay, so I see we're getting a problem with the text. So what we also need to do is let's just copy this. Let's copy this. Let's go into inside our text. Let's paste it below here. Let's paste it, and then let's change it to text. Text. And then also here, let's change it to text. And then let's go on top. We are going to just say part text dot g dot dat semicolon. Let's do it for the team member, because we will also get the same error. Let's paste it below. Let's change it team member. And also let's change this one also to team member. And and then let's just say part team member dot g dot dat. Okay, let's run our build command. Okay, it seems as if everything is okay, but we need to do one thing. Since we are going to be returning a list of coins, what we need to do is we need to create a list for coin, and then it's going to get a list of coins from JSON. Dynamic. Since we don't know the data, which type of data type our data is going to be returned on, then we are going to have a list of coin dot from str dot map e, and then it's going to map it to coin dot from JSON. Okay, so yeah, it's supposed to be e. Okay, let's get rid of this. Okay, so that's basically it for our models segment. Now we are just going to move on to the services folder, which is going to get data from our API. So now moving on into our services part, what we need to do is we need to first get into the constants, and then we create a config file. So I'm just going to name it config.dat file, config.dat. Okay, so let's just create a class. I'm just call it config. So this class is going to have our URL for the our API. So let me just copy it from my GitHub repo. Okay, so let's just paste it inside. Yeah, we have the API URL, which is api.coinpaprica.com, and then we have this URL for the coins. So as you can see, we don't have the HTTPS here, because the package that we are going to use, the HTTP package, will allow, we have a method for the HTTPS, it will input that automatically for us. So now moving into our services folder, I'm just going to create a new file that I'm going to call coin service. So this will be responsible for making API calls to our coin API, coinpaprica. Okay, so I'm just going to name it class coin service. Okay, so the first thing that we need to do is we need to import the HTTP package. Import package http/http. Yeah, I do that. I want to import it as http. Okay, so the first thing that we need to do is we need to initialize our client. So static var client is equals to http dot client. Okay, so now we need to create a future for retrieving coins, right? So a future which is going to be of type list, of type coin. So we are just going to name this function get coins, and then it's going to be an async. Okay, yeah, it must be curly braces. It must be curly braces. Okay, like this. Okay, so what we are going to do is we are going to create a variable URL, which is going to await client sorry, var URL, which is equal to URI dot https. Make sure it's https config dot API URL. So let's import the config class. Let's import this class. Let's import it. Okay, and then we need the config dot coin URL. Okay, right. So now that we are done, we are going to also initialize we're going to get the response, which is we are going to await it, which is goes to client dot get, since we want to get the data dot URL. Now what we are going to do is we are going to check if response, the response dot status code is equal to 200. So if the response dot status code is equal to 200, we'll initialize the data, we'll assign the data, the variable data, to the JSON dot decode, since we are decoding a JSON method. So let's import this JSON. Yeah, from that convert JSON dot decode. We are just going to decode the body, response dot body. Okay, and then we are going to return coin from JSON. Coin from JSON, and then we pass in the data. Okay. Else, that means that if the response dot status code is not equal to 200, what we need to do is we'll throw an exception. Exception response dot status code. Okay, so I left another what's going on here. Okay, so that's it for getting our coins. We are using a future. So a future is a method, is an asynchronous method for getting data that we do not know when it's going to be returned. If it's going to be returned in a future, right? So the first thing that is, we are going to get the URL, which is an HTTPS and then we are going to get the response from the client, and from the client in this instance is our API. We are going to check if the response.status code is equals to 200. If it's equals to 200, then we are just going to decode the message from the response.body, and then we are just going to pass it inside our coin.from.json. If you remember, this is the method that we created inside our models. If you go into our coin models, this coin from JSON, which is just going to convert our data from JSON, right? So let's go back into our service. Now what we need to do now next is we need to create a feature for getting data from for getting the coin detail. So we are going to create a feature which is going to be type coin detail, okay, right? And then we are going to say get coin detail, and then it's going to take in a parameter, a string, which is going to be a coin ID, since we want to retrieve the coin details by the ID of the coin, right? So now what we do here, we just do the same as we did above. So we're going to say var URL is equals to URI dot HTTPS. Make sure it's HTTPS. It's going to be config dot API URL, and then we are also going to pass config dot coin URL, and then we are going to add a /, and then also we are going to add coin ID like this. Okay, now that we are done with this, we need to get also a response. The response is goes to await client dot get. I'll pass in the URL, right, like this, right? The next thing is we are going to check the response. Response dot status code is equals to 200. Okay, if it's equal to 200, we're just going to say data is equal to JSON dot decode, and then passing the response dot body, and then we need to return coin detail dot from JSON. Okay, and then we need to pass in the data. Okay, now that we are done, else if the response.status code is not equal to 200, what we are just going to do is we are just going to return, we are going just going to throw an error, throw exception with the response dot status code, right, like this. Okay, so what's going on here? So here we are going to retrieve details for each coin, which we are going to retrieve by the ID. First, we need to get the data from the from our API. So we use URI.https. We pass in the API URL, the coin URL, and then we pass the ID of the coin. And then we then get the response. We await it. Since it's an asynchronous function, we want to wait for it to complete, so that, and then we get the result, and then we check if the response.status code is equals to 200. If it's equal to 200, we then decode the JSON data, and then we then return the coin.from JSON, right? So that's it for the service folder. Now we are going to be looking onto the controller, and then we are going to be looking onto the views. Model.dat. So let's create a class, class coin ViewModel extends state notifier from Riverpod, state notifier of type boolean. Okay, and then let's import the Flutter Riverpod. Okay, so let's import it. I think what we need to do is we need to type in flutter pub get. Okay. So Riverpod is a state management package, or it can also be used for caching. So this, what Riverpod does is we wrap our root or our ancestor widget, which is my app, with the provider scope. So this provider scope is more of like a global provider that allows us to track all the providers in our application, right? So as you know, Flutter is made up of widget trees. So as you'll be developing our application, we have the parent widget, we have the children, which is also a parent to other children widget. Those widgets also have other children widgets. So as you know, if you want to pass data from one part from the application, if we were to pass it down the parent widget up to the children, imagine if we have so many widgets, it would make our application slow. So what Riverpod does is it allows us to access the data directly to that specific widget using providers, right? It's also a state management package. Okay, so now that Flutter pub get is still running, let's wait for it to finish. Let's wait for it to finish, and then we can import the Riverpod package. Okay, so now that Flutter pub run is finished, let's import the Riverpod package. So it's going to be state notifier. Okay, let's import Flutter Riverpod. Okay, so the other thing that we need to do is since we need this to inject this coin service class inside our view model. So what I'm just going to do is going to say find our coin service provider, If you're not familiar with Riverpod, you can watch I have an entire playlist on Flutter Riverpod. So let's just import this. Let's just import Riverpod, yeah, reference, and then we are just going to return the coin service class. Coin service. Okay. Okay. So now in our view model, what we need to do is we need to pass in final coin service, and then we need to pass in the constructor coin view model, and then required this dot coin service. Sorry, required coin service, right? And then we just assign the coin service goes to coin this goes to coin service, and then super false. Okay, so in our view model, as you still remember, I said that the view model acts as an intermediator between the views and the services. So what the view model is just going to be calling classes inside the service folder, and also will be responsible for updating the UI inside the view. So let's access some methods from the service folder. Future list of type coin, which is going to be get coins method, get coins, which is also an async. It's going to return coin service dot get coins. Okay, let's import the coin method. All right, let's go also for the future coin detail, get coin detail, async, return coin service dot get coin detail, and then we need to pass in the string which is a coin ID. Okay, right, let's import the coin detail folder. Okay, yeah, as you can see, we are done with the view model. So what we need to do is we need to create a final coin view model provider, which is equals to state notifier provider, which is of type coin view model, and of type boolean, then we are just going to return a reference. Then we are just going to pass in the coin ViewModel. And then for this coin service, to inject the coin service, as you can see, we have this coin service class. If we are to inject it inside the coin ViewModel, what we need to do is we use a method called reference.watch from Riverpod. That allows us to watch any changes inside the coin service. So we're just going to say coin. As you can see, it pops up coin service provider. Yep. Coin service provider. Then we just need to import this coin service. I think we need to import. No. Have to watch coin service provider. The type. Did I include a type? I didn't include a type. What's happening here? Coin service provider. Okay, what's going on? The argument type, provider type can be assigned to the parameter always whatever. What's going on? I don't understand what's going on. There must be a typo somewhere. State notifier provider. Coin ViewModel. Coin service. Okay, let's just import it and let's see what's at the cast. Which cast? Let's see. Let's always provide a listenable. No. State notifier provider. Okay, why consider this one? Let's remove this. Don't know why you're getting this error. Reference.watch coin. Service provider. Okay, so the other thing that we need to do is we need to go inside our main.dat file. On my app, we need to wrap this with a widget. We need to wrap this my app with a widget. As I've explained, we are going to wrap it with a provider scope from Riverpod. Provider scope. Let's import it. So it's going to be a constant. Let's remove this constant here. Okay. So I don't know why. Let's just delete this whole line. Then I'm just going to say final coin ViewModel provider. Let's go to state notifier provider, which is a type of coin ViewModel boolean bool, and then okay, let's try it's supposed to be caps lock. Okay, let's push it in, this one, and then reference, which we want to return the coin view model. Coin view model, coin service reference dot watch. Coin service. It's going to be a coin service provider, but I don't know why this is going the argument type provider. Okay, let's go inside our Flutter Riverpod. Okay, so let's just say final coin service provider. This goes to provider, then reference, then return coin service class. Okay, yeah, so it's okay now. So we have created this coin view model. So as I've been explaining, that the view model is responsible for calling in for requesting updates and publishing updates. So it will be calling methods inside the services. As you can see, we are calling the get coins and also the get coin detail. But we need to do one more thing. Since these are futures, right, we need to create like providers for them. So I'm just going to say final get coins provider is equal to future provider. We check in the reference, and then we are just going to return reference dot watch. We want to watch the coin view model provider dot notifier dot get coins. Okay, so let's just, so as you can see, the get coins method is a future, so we need a future provider to provide that to provide those the coin data into our widgets. We need a future provider. So let's just also copy this. Let's just copy this and then let's paste it below also. Get coin, let's rename it to get coin detail provider dot get coin detail, something like this. In this case, we need to provide a family dot family. Then we need to provide an argument string, which is coin ID. So the family method allows us to give parameters to our providers. Coin ID. Okay. So now we are done with the view model. So in the next section, we are now going to take a look at creating our user interface for our application. This row, we have this row which is like 2 items. We have this item displaying the rank, the name, and then the symbol, and then it's going to display a boolean if it's active or not. And then as you can see, we are in a more of a, it's a list, right? We are more of it's a column in a list, right? So let's dive into let's create it. And so let's go into our components, and then we are just going to, let's go into our components. Inside our components, let's create a file called coinitem.dat. Coinitem.dat. Okay, it's going to be a stateless widget. It's going to be a stateless widget. Let's call it coin item. Okay. Let's import the coin item. Let's import the material.dat file. Yeah. Okay. So what we need to pass in the coin. So let's import it, and then let's pass it into the constructor required this dot coin. Okay, so it's supposed to be required. All right, so let's return inside here. What we want to do is we want to return a column. So let's return a column. Inside the column we have children. And then we are going to have a row, as you can see. Have this row here. So we are just going to pass in a row, and then with children. And then before we need to pass in the main axis alignment. Main axis alignment is equals to alignment dot, sorry, it's equals to main axis alignment dot space between. Space between okay, it's supposed to be undefined main axis align. What's going on here? Let's okay, yeah. So as you can see from our image here, we have this space between this item with Bitcoin and then this active item. Right. So the first child of the row is a text. We're going to put a text and then $, and then coin dot rank dot toString. Since it's an integer, we want to convert that into a string, toString. And then the next thing is let's give it a space, and then we are just going to say dot $, coin dot name. Then let's go again, let's give it a space, and then open parenthesis. And to open parenthesis, let's give it $, coin dot symbol. Coin dot symbol. Okay. coin.symbol. I think it's nullable or something like that. Yeah. Okay, now we are done with this. Now we need to style it. So let's just style the text. Style text, style, color. Use colors dot black. Then font size. Font size is 15. And then font weight. Font weight is font weight dot bold, like this. Okay. So let's move on to the next section. Let's just constant here. Then let's just copy this. So in the next section, we need a container. I'm going to say container. Inside the container, we need a child. So this container, we need a child. But what we are going to do is we are first going to check that coin dot is active is equal to true. So if it's equal to true, what we are going to do is let's just copy this. Let's just copy this text. Copy. Let's paste it here. If it's true, let's just delete the items inside. If it's true, here we are going to say is active, and then we are just going to give it a color of green. We're just going to give it a color of green, else that means that it's not true. So we have to give it another color. Okay, let's copy this. Let's copy it. So here. Yeah, we're just going to say else. Let's paste this. Then let's change it to red. Red, and then that means that it's not active. Not active. Okay, so that's it for our coin item. Now let's move into the home.dat file. Let's move into our home.dat file inside the views. Okay, so here we need to give it an up bar, color, background color is going to be white. Let's give it an elevation of 0. Okay, and then we need a body. So before we give it a body, let's go inside our stateless widget. Let's change it to consumer widget. So what a consumer widget does, it allows us to consume providers from Riverpod. So let's just import the Riverpod package. Inside our build method, we need to pass in the widget reference. So this widget reference is more of like a pointer. It allows us to access providers. So what I'm just going to do is I'm just going to say final coins is equal to reference.watch. Reference.watch get coins provider. Okay, so let's make sure that we import this get coins provider. Okay, let's import it. Okay, now we are good to go. So for the body, what I'm just going to do is body, I'm just going to say coins dot. That's the good part with Riverpod. When, as you can see, it provides us with 3 methods, which is the data that will return our data, and then the error, which allows us to display errors, and then the loading, which allows us to display loading. So inside our components, inside our components folder, what we need to do is we need to create the error text. Inside the components, let's just create the error text widget, because we don't want to be recreating this, we want to reuse it. So it's going to be a stateless widget. Error text widget. Okay, let's import the material.dat package. Okay, so we are just going to return a center widget with a child, which is going to be a text. The text is going to be error. Okay, let's create string error. Then here we're going to just pass in required this error. Okay, let's get rid of the constant here. Okay, now we are good to go. And then I forgot the other thing. We also need to create another component, which is going to be loader.dat. Then it's going to be a stateless widget. Loader. Let's import that. Let's import that. Then it's going to be also a center. And then we need a child. Yes, we are just going to display a circular progress indicator. Yep, circular progress indicator. Yep, must be a constant. Okay, now let's go back to our home page. Here it's going to be error stack trace, which is going to return an error widget. Which is error text widget. Error, which is error dot toString. Okay, and then for the loader, we just need to return loader. Let's import it. Then what we need to do is we need to return a list view, dot builder, and then we have an item count, which is data dot length. Which is data dot length, and then we have physics, which is want it to be a bouncing scroll physics. And then also we provide a shrimp rep, which is equal to true. So let's give this physics a constant. Okay. Yeah, I think we are good to go. So for the item builder, what we need is a context and an index. So I want to give a context and then index, right? A context and then index, and then we are going to return a coin item. Let's import it. So coin item, which is going to take in a coin, which is data index. Okay, like this. So I think that's it for the home UI. Let's go into our coin item dot. Let's just wrap this column with a padding. Let's wrap it with a padding. We just want to give it like a nice padding. So I'm just going to run the emulator. And then we'll see how it looks like. Emulator has finished loading. As you can see, now we have all the coins in our application appearing. But there's one thing that I forgot. I forgot this divider below this. So let's go into our coin item below the row. Yes, below the row. What we are just going to do is let's go divider. Let's give it a thickness of 1. And then that's it. Give it a constant. Again, let's go to reload our application. Yep, as you can see, now we have this divider below. Yeah, perfect. So in the next section, we are going to take a look at the coin details page, or displaying the coin detail. Okay, okay, so that's it. So I just want to change the Yeah, the text, I just need to give it a 20. Yeah, it's supposed to be 20. Let's give it 20. So that's it. So below this row we have, if we go back, let's look into our, we have the text, right? We have the text. So let's just copy this. Let's just copy this text here. Let's copy it. So below our row. So what I need is a constant sized box. We need to just give it some spacing. Size box. Let's give it a height of 16. And then below, what we are going to do is we are going to just paste this, and then let's change this to text. Yeah. Let's change that to text. Okay. Sorry. So before the text, what we have is we have a description. We have a description. Sorry. So let's change this. Let's just data dot description to string. Then let's give it a padding. Okay, let's give it a padding. And then let's change this, the font size. Let's just remove this. And then let's give it a font weight of W500, something like this. Okay. So below that, then we have our text. Okay. So what I'm just going to do is, let me just copy this. Let me just copy this text here. Let's copy it. Let's paste it below. Let's give it a constant. So first we need this spacing here. Let's copy this. Let's paste it below, and let's also copy this. Copy, and then let's paste it below. Let's change this to text. Text. We also need, it's a constant. We also need the font weight. Let's change the font weight to bold. And then the font size. Let's give it a font size of 20. Okay, so let's just remove this constant here. So now what we need is, as you can see from our picture, we have this text section, right? So let's go and create that text section. Okay, let's go and create that text section. So let's go into our components, and then let's create a coin tag.dat. Okay. So it's going to be a stateless widget. Stateless widget. Coin tag. So let's import the material that. Okay. So what we are going to do is we are going to return a rep. So what the rep does, as you can see from our application, we have these tags. So what it does is, like, if we put them in a row, we'll get the overflow. So what it does is that if these tags protrude to the other side, it will wrap them into the next line. So that's what the rep widget does, right? So we need a spacing of 4, and we also need a run spacing of 0. Okay, and then the tag is the children property. So for the children, what we need to do is we need to display a chip. It's a chip. It's a chip, and then I forgot something. Let's here we're just going to say final tag from the tag class, and then let's import that. Okay, it's supposed to be text. Okay, let's try to import it. Okay, so just pass it in our constructor required. This dot check like this. Okay, so we are just going to pass inside the chip. We're just going to pass a label, which is going to be a text. The text is going to be take.name. Okay, and then let's go to string. Let's convert it into a string. Let's give it a bit of styling. Text style, and the color, which is colors with white, and then a font size of 10 will do. Okay, that's it. For the chip also we need a padding. We need to give it a padding. Insets.all. Let's give it a padding of 5. Yeah. So let's just give it a constant. Yeah. Constant. Okay, so that's it for our coin check. Let's just close this. Let's go back to our coin detail view. So inside our coin detail view, what we need to do is below the tags, we have the base padding below the text. What we are simply going to do is we are just going to say okay, so what we are simply going to do is we are just going to simply say coin tag. Then let's import that. We're just simply going to say so let's just put it in a rep widget, let's put it like in a column widget, or yeah, a rep widget. Rep, and then children. So for the children, what we are going to do, we are going to say data dot text dot map. We want to map through each and every tag. And then we'll return return coin tag widget, which is going to take in a tag, which we are going to say tag, and then we put a semicolon here, and then we are just convert this to a list to list. Okay, so that's it. And then let's give it some padding. Let's give it some padding. So below this, we need the team members. So let's just copy this. And paste it below. Team members. So now we need to create a team members widget or component. So let's go inside our components. Let's create a team members. Widget. It's going to be a stateless widget. Okay, I forgot to write .dat rename. It's supposed to be .dat. Yeah, like this. Okay, let's change it to stateless widget. So just going to be team member widget. Okay, like this. Let's import the material.dat package. Okay, so what we are going to return, we are going to return a column. As you can see from our, we have this column displaying team members, right? We are going to return a column. Let's give it a children. We are going to take in children. So the first one is going to be a text, and then let's initialize final team member. Then let's pass it inside our constructor. We required this dot team member. Yeah. So let's just remove the constant here. Yeah, we're good to go. Okay, let's return it back. We are good to go. So let's just pass in team member dot name dot toString. Then let's style it. Style, which is going to be text style color. Colors to black. Then we have a font size of 20. Font size of 20, and then we have a font weight. Font weight. Just go to font weight clipboard. Okay. So I don't know why the color is not. Colors. Try correcting it. What's going on here? Okay, let's just say colors dot black. Okay, let's give it a constant. Yeah, and then let's copy this. Since we just want to display a team member below the name of the team position, right? Then let's give it a 15. Then let's change it to position. And then also let's put some spacing between these two. So constant sized box height. And we are going to give it a height of 4. Okay, like this. So that's it for the team member. So now let's go back inside our coin detail view. Then let's implement the team member. Okay. So below the padding, we are just going to wrap it inside let's say sized box. And then child is going to be a column. Then children, let's move this, and then what we are going to do is let's give it an alignment cross axis dot start. Cross axis alignment cross axis alignment dot start. Okay. So for the children, what we are going to do is we are just going to say data dot team dot map. So we want to map, and then we're going to say member, and then we are going to return team member widget is going to take in member, so what we need to do is the next thing that we just need to do is we need to convert this to a list. Okay, and then let's give it also a padding. Let's give it a padding. Okay, so that's it for the coin detail view. Now the next thing that we need to do is we need to go inside our home page, right? Inside our home page. So inside our coin item, we need to put a gesture detection, so that when a user clicks an item, it's going to direct them to the coin detail view. So gesture detector, it has a method called an on-tap, which is a function. And then we are just going to say navigator dot push material page. So material page route, like this, is going to take in a builder, going to take in the context, and the context must return so let's just remove this. No. Let's just get rid of this. Page. So material page route. It's supposed to be material page route builder. I'm just going to take in a context. And then it's going to return. Okay, let me check. Okay, so I forgot the context, another parameter here. Context. And then we are going to say coin detail field, and for the coin ID we are just going to pass data dot index dot ID, and then we need to convert this ID to a string. Okay, so now we are good to go. So what I'm just going to do is I'm just going to restart our application, and let's see. Okay, as you can see, if we click on the Bitcoin, now you can see we have all the tags, but somehow something is funny. So let's go inside our coin item. So let's go inside our coin tag. I want inside the chip, let's give it a background color. Colors white. Okay, that's what reload. And then let's go also inside our coin detail view page. We need to, for the column here at the top, we need a cross-axis alignment. Cross alignment, cross-axis alignment dot start, like this. Okay, so let's also wait for it to restart. So as you can see, whilst the data is still loading, our Riverpod, that method, the load method, As you can see, it's showing us a circular progress bar. Okay, if we click on Bitcoin, you can see that I don't know why it's not changing. I think not. Let me just save the files, and then let me restart again. So as you can see, we now have they are now aligned at the they are now aligned at the cost axis, but I don't know why let me just check why the color is not changing for the text. I think I made an error for the text. What's the background color? Background color is okay. I see what I did. I made a typo. It's supposed to be green. And then for the team member, we can also see that for the team member, everything is not aligned well. So let's go inside the team member widget. So inside our column, what we need to do is cross axis alignment, cross axis alignment dot start. And then the other thing is I also need a divider. So below this, let's just put a divider. Let's give it a thickness of 1. Constant here. Okay, now I think we are good to go. Let's reload, restart again. Let's see. Okay, so if we click on Bitcoin, yeah, now you can see everything is now, yeah, now you can see everything is now displayed. Okay, it's now, as you can see, if we go, let's click USD coin, you can see. Okay, so that's it, guys. That was my video on developing a crypto app using Flutter Riverpod and also the mvvm architecture. If you find this video useful, please help me by just supporting me by clicking on the like button and clicking on the share and the subscribe button so that you do not miss any of my videos. Thanks for watching, guys. Cheers.